Hi, music teachers. Do you have even just one performing ensemble? Did you know that no matter what ensemble that is, you're supposed to include improvisation as per the standards, both national and state? So, how do we go about doing this? How do you get students that are super confident with improvising? And how do you teach all about improvisation in a variety of different ways for all different types of ensembles without it taking away a whole lot of rehearsal time? So, and then what if you have students that are afraid of jazz ensemble or improvisation solos or anything like that? How do we make all this happen? So, if you feel like you've done pretty good at teaching improvisation, is there still more that you could be doing? Maybe you've only tried a little bit, maybe it's something you consistently do, but what if it's still not enough, especially according to what the standards say that you have to do? So, watch this video all the way to the end, and you're going to find exact solutions on how to teach improvisation for any performing ensemble student. So, my name is Karen Yanuszewski, and you can call me Kay for short. And not too long ago, I was just like you, where I sort of knew how to teach improvisation, wasn't extremely good at it myself, but I knew that there was a lot more I needed to do. Let me tell you a story about kind of where that all came from a long, long time ago. I was struggling with understanding what I was even looking at when I saw what real jazz ensemble improvisation looked like. Actually, it wasn't an improv solo at all. It was a piano part. I was in high school. I was in 9th grade. I had just gotten into jazz ensemble, and I was handed a chart. Chord symbols, slashes. I didn't know what I was looking at all. And some of that was actually including solos. Sort of written out, not really. No indication about styles. I didn't know what to do. I was very frustrated, and other classmates that were in jazz ensemble with me were absolutely amazing at this. How could they do it, but I couldn't? What was the knowledge I needed? And I was really, really frustrated. So I was trying to make sense of these piano charts, and something really bad happened. I became far too much of an anxious mess, and I didn't know what I was supposed to do. I wasn't getting the help that I needed, and I ended up quitting. And as somebody who was already thinking about making music my profession, that's not something that was part of my identity. I didn't quit something musical, but I had to because I simply didn't know how to proceed. I joined chorus the year after, so that was fine. I got a little something different, but still it bothered me. So I didn't give up on jazz forever. I did actually rejoin in my senior year, but it was not in the same type of circumstance. Piano, comped parts, piano improv still was very much eluding me, and I needed to do something about that. And especially certainly by the time I was a senior in high school, I needed to know what to do if I ever needed to teach students this. So I couldn't even think about how I was going to teach this skill. I was hoping I was going to learn it in college. And as you can imagine, I was kind of in bad shape and sort of desperate about this whole thing, but I wasn't ready yet to give up on my dream of being able to beam with pride when a student slays an improv solo. So the problem I had was I didn't know how to teach improvisation to really any performing ensemble student, much less jazz, and I certainly couldn't improvise like a pro jazz player with the ultimate confidence that I'd want. And that's when I knew something had to change. So first, I tried writing solos. That didn't really work at all. It was too slow and totally defeats the purpose of improvisation, right? I even tried to relax and just let the notes flow. But I did not do very well with that, and I'd make mistakes, I'd overthink it, I'd be too slow. It just didn't work for me. I just couldn't wrap my head around how to do that. Then I tried figuring out the chords and the scales of the solo sections, and listing out the notes there to the chord notes, the chord tones, and it worked a little bit better, but it was also too slow. It also required a ton of practice and preparation for a solo that I might not even do. I tried doing that especially in my senior year. And that's when I finally tried taking an improv course in college. I thought that was a really, really good plan for me. And guess what? I did get some really, really great ideas on how to finally improvise for me, and what I really wanted to get out of that course was how to teach students. And then, in the whole process, especially as I was starting to use some of my strategies for teaching, I realized it wasn't my fault. I had been failing because of time. Just time. there didn't seem to be enough time to teach everything that you're supposed to for the music content standards in ensembles, or just how to improvise at all at the ensemble level. No wonder I was struggling. For years, they wanted me and everybody to believe that there's good improvisers and bad improvisers, that either you got it or you don't. And I figured out that that really isn't true. It doesn't have to be true. It's only true as far as the teacher decides to frame this ensemble into, in their thinking. I was able finally to break out of the chains and get the results that I deserved, and especially the ones that my students absolutely deserved. Once I realized me and my students could use a system to get very, very good at this, and in a seamless way that it wasn't overwhelming, like, oh my gosh, how do I choose from all these notes? And that's when I started to teach improvisation to really any performing ensemble student really fast. Like within a matter of weeks, they were very proficient with it. So I used what I discovered to be able to break down improv instruction into quick little tasks, help students to learn not to actually make mistakes, at least not any that are audible to the audience. They may think it's a mistake, but it wouldn't come out sounding that way. And take students from playing just the basic notes to creating brilliant sounding solos that actually sound professional. So, I want you to take a look at how we simplifies the process to teach improvisation to any performing ensemble student, and how to get them to be super, super confident. So I wanted to create all of this into some sort of package, because I'm sure I'm not the only music teacher out there that is. I think maybe a lot of music teachers out there maybe have the same path as me, or maybe even with less experience. Maybe they were never even in jazz ensemble at all. And the improv class I took was not required. It was an elective. I took it because I knew I needed to. But how many people have not even done that? How many people suddenly get a jazz ensemble and they're expected to teach this, and there's a disconnect in experience, knowledge, and output? But then what about the chorus teachers, those who just teach wind band or marching band or orchestra? How do they do it? And they're supposed to, according to the standards. So there had to be a way to spread this really, really great system that I created for my students, which was very simple at the time. Now it's got everything you need. And that's why I created the course Improvisation in the Performing Arts, to just have this in a big, accessible package for any teacher to be able to enjoy and use and create amazing improv skills in their students. Honestly, the development of all this took me years. It really did. A lot of trial, not really trial and too much error, but trial and let's get better efficiency. It was totally worth it. It's really great the way I use it now, and you're going to find that too if you decide to take this course. And so, what are the benefits? What do you get out of it? You will be able to teach your students to improvise using a task-based sequence, so you can help students steadily improve their improv skills, just a little at a time, little at a time. Let's add one little thing. Learn how to structure an improvisation routine into your rehearsal time so that you can help your students be less nervous about improvising, and it'll become routine. So that way you can actually be improvising just a little bit every single rehearsal, and it's part of every rehearsal, so it's not blindsiding students, oh, are we going to be improvising today? Yes, you are going to be improvising today, and you already know how it's going to be handled. Okay, that's going to help students a lot more. Understand your 5 basic students' personalities regarding improvisation, because not every student that you have in your performing ensembles is going to mentally handle this the same way. Some are going to be got this, and some are going to be ready to jump out a window, okay, and everything in between. So we'll have to take a look and get a psychological deep dive of how these different types of student personalities handle this, and then how you can reach them, how you can empower them, and you can help them be a lot more confident in, and maybe even your most skilled improviser. You never know, but you have to be able to give them the chance. You'll also receive a backing track for students to practice with, and for you to use in rehearsals, so that you can observe exactly what's happening in their solos. So you're not bogged down by trying to conduct, you're not bogged down by trying to play along yourself. Just have something going in the background so that you can pay attention to the components happening and what's going well and what's not. And discover how to get students, and you, if you need to go beyond the basics and have really brilliant, virtuosic, impressive, and sometimes even humorous solos so that you can boast that your students can improvise like pro level jazz or other style players. Like, how amazing would that be, especially by the high school level? It looks so good. Looks so good during those concerts and so good to the community. What a great advocacy tool, right? So how did this get developed? How did I do it? Who did I work with? I actually worked with my private students with this in my own studio. Mainly the situation will come up where a student's super excited coming in and they're waving some music around that I've never seen before, or in some cases haven't seen for a while. And they're like, I got into jazz ensemble. And we celebrate together because that's a really exciting accomplishment, because sometimes it just like happens. And then it's just like, okay, this is brand new for you. You've got to start learning improv. Because if suddenly a teacher goes, okay, and you get a solo, I want to make sure that you know what to do here, because it can be really scary. Or it can be really, really fun. So let's get it to the point where you're not nervous about this and it'll be fun every single time. Okay? Those are my cues. That's what I want to be able to say. And then the rest is the how. And that's what this course would be teaching you. So, would you like to get access to improvisation in the performing arts? For less than a pizza party in your rehearsal space, you can get access to everything inside Improvisation in the Performing Arts program. Now, while it would be impossible to show you all of the benefits of this course, I want to show you some of the things that you'll experience as soon as you're in on the inside. So, you get 10 video modules. It's actually more than 10 videos though, but it's broken up into 10 modules. A mediated group, it's a private group actually, to bounce ideas off with other students. With other teachers, or students of this course is kind of what I meant. The backing track, which is a really great rehearsal tool and practice tool. The improv sequence sheet for your students. That's the goal right there. That's the thing that does all the teaching. And you just need to know how to explain the tools and explain the tasks. You know, it's very, very simple in the end. And lots of help of how to implement this as well, because you don't want to accidentally create students that are really, really not liking this, okay? So we deep dive how to deliver this and how to present this in ways that students are going to enjoy it. Honestly, if I were to total up everything together, this course would probably be valued at over $500, because it's skills and instructional tactics that will last your entire career and help rise your credibility for your instruction. You might even be able to earn extra club stipends for after school work with students, or you may enjoy this so much that maybe you're able to do some more gig work on the weekends. So this might help you in a lot of different ways. That then makes it an investment tool for you in your career. So if all this did was to show you how to beam with pride when those students slay their solos on stage, would it be worth it? If all this did would help you make improvisation be a fun and part of like the routine in the rehearsal instead of a chore, would it be worth it, even if it was just those little things? Of course it would, because you're actually getting students to enjoy a very, very important part of what the music standards tell us we have to teach. They're there for a reason. We shouldn't be ignoring them. So, how about this? Want some even better news? I'm not going to charge you $500. I'm actually only going to charge you $67. That's it. So, if improvisation in the performing arts doesn't show you exactly how to have students that are confident with improvisation, if it doesn't take you by the hand, step by step, to have students that aren't afraid of jazz solos, or if it fails to help you watch students impress the school community during their solo opportunities, then I can work with you to make sure that happens myself, okay? Because there's a little something that we would have to tweak together, and I'd be willing to help you with that, okay? So, but you must act now, because maybe the school year's already part over, and maybe they should have been doing this already, like improvisation, improvised solos and all that. Maybe it hasn't been happening yet. Maybe you've gone years in your career with barely even touching improvisation, even though the standards are telling you you're required to teach it. Maybe you have high school seniors that should get this amazing skill before they graduate, so don't wait, okay? Just imagine what your school and teaching life will be like when you can teach improvisation to any performing ensemble student, because of course, it's not just for jazz ensemble. What about the other students? They should be getting this as well. So head on over to Uplevel U Music and click Join Now for Improvisation in the Performing Arts. Do that right now and you'll be taken over to the secure order form. And after you put in your billing information, you'll be taken to the members area where you can access the full course of Improvisation in the Performing Arts. And this is at your own pace, even if it's 2 a.m., any weekend, whenever, okay? This is your professional development on demand, online, wherever you go, from your phone, from your laptop, in your pajamas, on your bed, whatever, okay? You still get the knowledge. So once you complete the entire course and you finish and pass the final exam, you'll actually get a certificate with your name on it that you can then forward to the people that can put it through the state to make sure that you're getting your professional development hours. This course is worth 3 professional development hours for you, okay? All right, so let's be blunt. If you pass on this offer, will you end up succeeding with improvisation if you haven't quite implemented yet, or, if it's only been just like a little bit there? Are you succeeding already, or could you succeed even more? I'll let you be the judge of that, but keep in mind that this will be able to help you probably with anything that you feel is lacking or is very difficult. We don't want this to be a struggle, so this will help you figure out exactly every little facet to teaching improvisation, to getting students to have very refined sounding jazz improvisation solos or any style, okay? So, improvisation in the performing arts is definitely the way to go here. All right, so get this course now and get the music education professional development success you want with improvisation. So, as a reminder, you're going to get the following with improvisation in the performing arts: 10 video modules, mediated group to bounce ideas off with other teachers, the backing track, improv sequence sheet for your students, lots of help with how to implement all of what we're talking about here, and even more. Never before has there been such a unique opportunity, to do from home, by the way, to have me take you by the hand and help you with teaching improvisation to not just your jazz students, but your chorus students, your band students, your orchestra students. So act now, and you can have students that are confident with improvisation, have students that aren't afraid of jazz solos or any style improvisation solos, and watch students impress the school community during their solo opportunities, like I did. This entire course offer will be sold for $67. Buy it now before slots fill up. What if we got too many and that private group gets a little bit crazy? Nah, your time is now. Don't even wait. It's going to be a fun course. You're going to learn a lot of really, really good stuff. So I'm excited for you to have this opportunity, and I hope to see you on the inside.